who wouldn't benefit from an equal society? I can vote. Now I can at least try and get whatever job I want, and maybe I'll get paid less. But you know, it's a work in progress. Because they think, these women want to be greater than us and want to have an advantage.
Welcome to the first episode of Not Quite There Yet, What Do You Think? The series where we discuss feminism. In this episode, we're talking to Margarita. Let's get listening.
Why do you call yourself a feminist?
I guess because I identify with the ideas of feminism and what they are to me, and because it feels like a good and accepting community that's fighting for the good of everyone, whoever you are, like whatever your race, gender or sexuality or anything, really. And yeah, it's a great group of people.
Does feminism improve people's lives, I suppose?
Okay. Well, first of all, in the most obvious sense of the word, women being oppressed and women are still being oppressed very much, even in today's society, and that will improve lives for women and for young girls if feminists achieve what the goal is, I guess. Well, this is really difficult. These are such big questions, but go on.
How do you think feminism affects men?
It's interesting because I think when it's especially evident when I go to Ukraine. When I go to Ukraine, the whole media and the whole world is really different from what it is here. Because I think as young people we take for granted how it is, especially in Bristol, where everyone's so open-minded and everyone, in big cities in general, everyone's very open-minded and a lot of people are feminists, at least in my circle. In Ukraine, it's really evident how men are threatened by it sometimes, because they think, these women want to be greater than us and want to have an advantage. But in fact, I don't know how men feel here about it, because I guess I haven't spoken to my guy friends about it much. But, I think feminism benefits everyone, and men especially, because who wouldn't benefit from an equal society? I guess maybe it might be a bit sad for men to lose their advantage that they have in, for example, the working world and just in everyday life. But I think equality is something that benefits everyone, whether they realise it or not.
I suppose maybe we could go more into kind of how it is in Ukraine.
It's madly different. You'd go on TV, for example, and this is such a weird example because you wouldn't think anything like that to happen in the UK, and you have these talk shows like Jeremy Kyle or something where people come with their home problems, and so I was watching one because my granddad always watches TV there, and it was about this woman who came in and who said that her husband beats her and her kids, and they were discussing about who should keep the kids and stuff, and it was crazy, it was mad how people in the audience were oh, well, it's her fault for making her husband hit her, because if she behaved in a certain way and if she did all of these things and if she was a good wife, what they call a good wife, then he would have never been provoked to do it and everyone would have been happy. So actually he's right and he should keep the kids, because according to them, she was a whore, she went and slept with other people, and that's why he hit her and she deserved it. And the hosts of the TV show were saying this, the audience was saying this, and I was just saying that oh my god, is it actually happening? And other women in the audience were agreeing with it. So it's so mad how different it is, and how I guess their feminism is this radical concept that's not adopted by many people at all. And some young people live in bigger cities know something about it, but in the little village that I live in, it's something unheard of. And on national TV, women don't support other women, which is a bit scary.
What sort of role does it play? in like how we live our lives, or how our lives may change because of it?
Well, I think society has changed so much since like even recent years and how it was, and so much like progress has been made recently, and the way it affects my life is like I think about how my life would have been like 50, 60 years ago, or maybe even less, maybe like 30 years ago, and it's very, very different what position a woman takes in society now as opposed to then. So now I can vote, now I can at least try and get whatever job I want, and maybe I'll get paid less, but you know, it's a work in progress, and like at least I can try. And like just how much has it been achieved like in the time since then makes me realize how powerful we as women are, and how much change we can make and achieve together if like we work together and get our power and everything. So hopefully I'd like to hope that in the future things will be even better, and eventually we'll beat like the pay gap between the genders, and I don't know, achieve amazing things like stop genital mutilation in like certain countries of the world, and maybe more women will be in higher position in like the government. But you know, work in progress. Yeah.
What does the word feminism mean to you?
It means a sense of community. It makes me feel like there are millions of other people just like me fighting for the same thing, and believing in the same thing, and it feels like a very welcoming and friendly community that I'm part of, even if I don't necessarily, you know everyone, because that's impossible. It still feels nice to know that people have the same beliefs and like are fighting for the same things that they think are fundamentally a right that we should have.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of What Do You Think? Tune in next week for the next one. See ya!